Hey everyone, welcome to the May edition of Questions and Answers. I love getting your questions every month, so be on the lookout. If it didn't get answered this month, don't be afraid to post your question again to our Facebook sites or send emails to us, but Facebook's probably the best way. So good questions again this month. Let's get to it. Question number 1 comes to us from Rachel. If you're more than a one-person studio, how do you make sure everyone's on the same page, everyone knows where they're supposed to be without overlapping and overscheduling? Is there a calendaring system or software that you guys recommend? Yes, we use Studio Cloud. We have tried almost every system out there, I assure you, in the last 6 years. Each one is riddled with issues. So there's no perfect silver bullet out there for you, but there are things that are better than like your iCal, and things like that. And Studio Cloud is in fact that app. So it allows us to sync with our iCals so that my entire team knows what's going on and when it's going on. It even allows you to send automated reminders to your clients. Not many other systems offer that functionality. What the other systems will do is they have a single email that will go out as a reminder. But think about my studio. We're photographing weddings, seniors, families, babies. I want to send out a different kind of reminder to each client. So not a generic one very specific. So if you're coming for an engagement session, boom, you're going to get a certain reminder. If you're coming in for a senior session, you're going to get a different kind of reminder. Studio Cloud allows that. So a very powerful system. Look into it. I'm sure they allow a free 30-day trial or something like that. So great question. Question number 2 comes to us from Rebecca. As a one-person company, how do I make myself as accessible as possible to clients when I'm out of the office on a regular basis? Hey, welcome to being a photographer. So I don't want to be accessible 9 to 5 to clients just randomly calling me on the phone going, hey, should I wear a blue sweater or a red sweater? I don't care what sweater you wear, right? I don't want to have that conversation. And I understand if you're a one-person show, you don't necessarily have like a tailor or an assistant or somebody fielding those calls. But that being the case, if you're dark 9 to 5, you've got to make sure that you allow time on the front end of your day. Maybe you're getting up at 7 and you're starting to return phone calls and emails, or in the latter part of your day after 5. Not to mention, what are you doing with that time in between shoots when you're in the field? When I'm in the field, I have my laptop with me, my phone, and my iPad. So I'm trying to have this kind of mobile command center so that I can get back to clients and respond in a reasonable fashion. Obviously, some things take longer than others, but I don't want to sit there for a half hour in between shoots doing nothing. So I'm trying to be as productive as possible. Great question. All right, question number 3. This comes to us from Abraham. If I have an engagement, bridal, wedding shoot, and I use Evolve to outsource, how would I charge the client, especially if I'm doing a few high-end edits? So here's the thing, Abraham. You're passing that cost through to the client, but they don't see that cost. That cost has to be built into your packages. That's the key. Now remember, with that being said, I love to keep my cost of product in a package to about 15%. That gives me enough wiggle room to afford outsourcing. If you start putting product in your packages that cost more than 15%, let's say you're at 25 or even 50%, you're going to lose money and you won't have money to outsource. So that's the key. That being said, every time I do a high-end edit, I don't want you to believe my clients actually buy them. They don't. They may not like that edit, but I use it for my portfolio because the images I'm selecting for a higher-end edit are ones I believe are representative of my style, even if a client doesn't buy it. You will find, though, over time, you will be able to guess pretty closely what a client will and will not like. Why? Because you're going to attract the right client based on what you're showing on your website. So hopefully that makes sense. Question number 4, this comes to us from Rodrigo. What should I do if one of my referrals wants a refund? Should I still count it as a referral from my ambassador? So Rodrigo, you're talking about high school seniors and the ambassador program. And the short answer is yes. Once you give one of your ambassadors a referral credit, do not take it back because something went wrong with that particular referral. Now, what I'd really be doing is asking myself what happened there. Was there missed expectations? This way you fix that moving forward. But in a nutshell, no, don't punish your ambassador just because something went wrong with the referral. Now, we have a no refund policy. So once you schedule your appointment and make your deposit, I would say maybe once a year I get into a situation where I have to give money back on a session fee. So I'd want to look closer at what you're doing that's forcing that to happen. Question number 5. When you go to, this comes to us from Abraham again. When you go out to bridal shops and the owner agrees to the give-get proposal, so here's what you're going to do for them in return, this is what you want back. Is it best to coordinate the shoot in studio or outdoors? Let me tell you what you should do. Photograph your way. If you're an indoor photographer and that's the work you want to show to attract your clients, then of course do it indoors in studio. But for me, my brides are not coming to me looking for that indoor artificial look. That's more of a commercial look. It's more of an artificial look. It just doesn't match my brand. It doesn't mean it's not good. It doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just not my style. It's not my brand. So just make sure whatever you are doing matches your brand, because ultimately, whatever images they put up in that bridal shop are going to be representative of your brand. So that's very, very important to think that way. So whatever your style is, that's what you want to deliver to them, regardless of what they're looking for, because ultimately, this is something you're doing for free. So don't yield to what the bridal shop wants if that's not going to help you generate new business or find your client. All right, next question comes to us from Jill. How do you go from entry-level prices to starting to charge what your worth prices without alienating your current clients? I have not raised my prices in 2 years from when I started. Welcome to a very painful reality. You are going to lose your clients. There's no way around it. When we started raising our prices, I would say probably 70% of my client base fell off. And so it became very important for us to start going after new clients, my client, my bride, your client. And unfortunately, bad clients don't necessarily refer good clients. Bad clients refer more bad clients. And let me be clear, a bad client is not necessarily like they're bad people. It's just not where I want to be. It's not a fit within my studio. That makes them not necessarily a good client, right? They can be the nicest people in the world, and I have plenty of clients who I love and I'm still in contact with, and some really, really good clients who love my work and appreciate what I do. I've actually extended massive discounts to them so they continue to stay with us. But 95% of what we do has been going after that new client. So how do you raise your prices? Stop watching this video and get out there and raise your prices right now. There's no reason to wait any longer. This comes to us from Gary. What is your criteria, or how would you interview a second shooter if you don't have access to a spouse who wants to do it with you? That is a great question. So the interview process for me, when I was interviewing some second shooters, before I could afford to hire them, I would actually go grab a cup of coffee with them. And if you couldn't pass that cup of coffee test, meaning I wouldn't sit with, I was bored out of my mind sitting with you for a half hour talking, I thought to myself, A, no way my client's going to want to be engaged with you, and B, no way I'm going to want to sit in a car with you for 8 to 12 hours a day. So personality is a big part of the interview process. Now, of course, we have to assume all other things are equal. Their photography skills are up to par. But let me ask you a serious question. If I found somebody who was the most amazing photographer in the world, would I want to have them on a 12-hour shoot if they had no social skills? The answer is no. I wouldn't want them there. They have to be able to fit in with my team, have to be able to generate the energy we need to do what we do, and have to be able to fit in with my bride and groom. So the best piece of advice I can give you is, one, check out their portfolio. All things being equal, go grab a cup of coffee with them and make sure personality-wise they're going to be a fit. But great question, Gary. Next one comes to us from Rebecca. At what point should you consider moving your home-based studio or office into a retail space, if that's ultimately your goal? I can tell you this, Rebecca, I wish I was still working out of my home to a certain extent, right? Now I have this giant monthly mortgage payment since we've purchased our own studio, electric bills, I got to put food in the studio, I have to, to furniture in the studio. However, do my clients love coming into that professional space? Of course they do. When do you consider making that move? When your monthly income can support it. I mean, ultimately, if you're generating $10,000 a month in gross sales, I would say only about 10% would I want to see going towards monthly rent. I would not want to see more than that. So you don't want to, if you're only generating $7,000 to $10,000 a month in gross sales, you don't have enough money to invest in a studio space, right? You're just going to bury yourself in that monthly rent. So hopefully that helps. Last question. This comes to us from Rachel again. How do I explain to my clients that the gift print sizes I offer do not include my art images, and that it's only available when they buy wall art from me? Does this ever get real sticky? Rachel, this will get real sticky for you because it comes across as a sleight of hand, as a sneaky sales tactic. So what I would do is I would ultimately, invest in creating specialized crops. For example, a pano size, 15 by 30, is not available in an 8 by 10. I don't have to explain that to them. They see it's only available in that size. And I'll have clients go, well, we want this in a 1624. We want this in a 2030. Sorry, guys, it is being cropped, edited, everything for a 1530. It will not fit that aspect ratio without zooming in. And if we zoom in, it's not going to look correct. So that's up to you how you position that. I just think that it gets a little sticky when you start saying, oh, my art's only available in larger sizes. However, just trying to think outside the box with you, if that's ultimately what you want to do, consider offering a signature line, a signature collection, where you're saying these are your fine art pieces, and then showcase to the client, here's the original image. You can get this in any size you want. However, this signature line, this signature image is only available in our larger sizes. That I think most clients would be okay with. But if you just hijack an image and don't give them an alternative for a smaller print size, that's when it starts rubbing clients the wrong way. So great questions this month, everybody. I hope we've gotten some good ones answered for you, and we'll see you again next month.